everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Bucker Designs, and we're going to make a snow globe shaker card. How adorable is that? So these little snow globe shaker domes are new from Stampin' Up. They've never had these before, and they are perfect for making a shaker card. I think you'll really like them. You'll find all of this in the new Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. This is the 2019 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog, and you'll find what I'm using on page 43. Here are the dies that we're going to use, the snow globe shaker domes, and some of that snowflake sequins. Now, I want to point out that this stamp set comes, or these dies, here are the dies, there's this stamp set that coordinates right here. I'm not using the stamp set today simply because it just happened that way. But if you're going to buy the dies, I would recommend getting the stamp set that goes with it because you get a 10% discount when you buy them together, okay? Just a side note. Now the stamp set I'm using, I decided I needed a real skinny, small sentiment down here, and there wasn't one in here, so I pulled out another new set called Itty Bitty Christmas with some amazing sentiments. If you're a sentiment person, this is a stamp set for you. All right, well, let's get started. Let's make our little shaker dome first. Actually, let's make the base of our snow globe first. I am using Balmy Blue cardstock. I'm going to do this first because it needs to sit and dry for a few minutes. And let's get all this out of the way. We're going to use the outline of the base as well as the little detailed base part, and we're going to put them on top of one on top of the other, and I'm doing them tone on tone. That means they are the same color, just to kind of give it some dimension, and it keeps things less busy. I feel like if we were to use too many colors, then it would be a little bit too busy. Now it's got all these little doodads in here, so we've got a special tool for that, and of course I didn't pull it out. Here it is. You can use your die brush to get all of those out. And now we have a die brush that even attaches to the end of your take your pick tool, which is even better because then you don't have to dig for it like I just did. It's right out there with your take your pick tool. All right, the best way to adhere this is with your fine tip glue pen. And don't squeeze. You don't want big drops. You're just going to lightly press, and those little glue dots will just come right out. And without squeezing, if you squeeze, you're going to get big globs, and we don't want big globs. We want tiny little glue dots so that when we lay this over, the glue isn't going to squish out from the sides. One thing I do like to do with my fine tip glue pen is once I put those dots on there, I give them about a minute to kind of solidify a little bit so they're not runny. I'm not going to do that because we're making a video, but it kind of helps keep any smearing from happening if you happen to put a little bit too much on, okay? All right, so now we've got that on top of there. I'm going to take my ink pad and set it right on top, all right? I'm going to move it over here, set that on top so that it'll be ready for us in a few minutes. Okay, now we're going to cut out this dome. I wanted to point something out to you, and you can't really see it here. I'm using these cute little bear dies from this die set, which has escaped me. It's under my Big Shot machine. These little dies, these little bears right here, and I first cut them out to be polar bears, but then when I decided I was going to use this paper, I decided to make them brown bears. I kind of wanted them to coordinate with this beautiful Twill Tidings paper. So that's why I went with soft suede for my bears. Okay. So the measurements for these pieces you're going to find over on my blog. You can click on the link here on the video and it will take you, oh my goodness, I can't get that off. That's what happens when all your nails break. I am going to, you can click on the link over there and you'll find a PDF with all the measurements that you need, okay? All right, let's see. I was going to turn it that way, but I think it'll be better if we just do it this way. All right, so here's our very vanilla cardstock, and we're going to cut out the shaker from the top. We've got to leave room for the base and for the sentiment, okay? Now, one thing I want to show you, these are the domes, And the adhesive, you've got to remember that there is about 1/4 inch of an edge that's going to stick out, okay? So you've got to get that right in there so that it's not going to stick out on the top or the bottom, okay? So give it enough room on the top and the bottom. Let's see. Does that look about right? Yep, I think that's about right. All right, now put this here and we will cut this out like that. And on the way back over, we will cut our little bears, our soft suede little bears. The mama and the baby, so cute. There we go. All right, now these are tiny dies, so make sure you return them to their home before you lose them in a stack of miscellaneous cardstock. Can't tell you how many times I've done that, unfortunately. All right, so the dome adhesive is on the top, which means you're going to have to adhere it in the back like that, okay? So you just peel off. Well, you just peel off the backing and set that right down on there, okay? Now, I want to make sure that my bears are where they should be. I don't want them too high floating in the air, but I don't want them too low that they're buried in the snow. I've cut a piece to be my backing like this, but instead of trying to just guess, I'm going to take the piece that I cut out and I'm going to, let's see if I have, well, my goodness, everything is escaping me today. We'll just use the fine tip glue because I don't know where my tape runner is. Oh my goodness, you guys. Sorry. All right, here we go. Now, I'm going to put this on here where I think it should be centered right there, okay? So I've got that there. Now I know exactly where to put those bears. Because if I didn't put that there, I would kind of be guessing on this backing piece and it might be off center, it might be weird. But this way, I've kind of set it on there, laid it down, and gotten it exactly where it needs to be, okay? So that's just kind of an extra step that I've taken to make sure that they're centered. Now I'm going to use little little dimensionals right here, and I don't want them too low because they'll be buried, but I don't want them too high because then they're floating, right? So I'm going to layer these cute little mama and baby, and I feel like the baby might be a little bit too low. So let me put another dimensional on him and rise him up like he's kissing his mama. So sweet. All right, let's take a look and see. Yep, looks pretty good. Okay, now for the fun part. We're going to take 2 different fillers. I'm going to use the new Snowflake sequins. Put some of those in there. And then I'm going to take some of the new Ice Stampin' Glitter. Pour some in there. And then we are ready to go. All right. So it's got this other little backing, adhesive backing right here. And now all we have to do is flip that over, line up those corners, and press it all together. And let's take a look. Ta-da! So cute. Aren't they cute? Now, you can see some glitter sticking to my dome. I've only made one of these so far, but I will tell you that after a few days, it wasn't sticking so bad anymore. One thing I think you could do if you're having trouble with your static is to take a dryer sheet and wipe the inside of your dome before you fill it. That's just a suggestion. I think that might work. All right, now let's get our, oh no, I'm going to use dimensionals for this. Our snow globe base. And we're going to put this on with dimensionals right here. And then we'll get that skinny, narrow stamp. See why I needed something narrow to go right below it. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Isn't that beautiful? Blessed Christmas wishes. All right, how about a bow? This is the Real Red cotton ribbon, a classic ribbon that I use a ton during the holidays. All right, snip that off. And we will put this on with a mini glue dot, which again has escaped me. What happens when you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is you're working, making projects, and then you go to make a video and all your adhesives are on the other side of the room. I know you're telling me, Erica, get 2 sets of adhesives. You would think that I would after all these years. All right, I layered that onto a soft suede mat. And I'm putting the 12 DSP on a Real Red card base. And we're just going to put this down with some dimensionals. This has a lot of dimension. If you wanted to keep it a little flatter, you could just adhere this flat onto your card base. But I like dimension. I'm not sure how these are going to mail. We might need to look into padded envelopes for these. These would be just for special friends, right? Because the postage is going to cost a little bit more on a card like this. All right, and there you have it. What do you guys think? Aren't these little domes genius? I mean, they are fantastic. And you can fill your snow globe with anything. You could do a birthday snow globe, you could do a Valentine's snow globe, you could do a spooky Halloween snow globe, whatever you want. These are the new snow globe domes. Check them out. They're really, really good. All right, remember, hop over to my blog. At the bottom of the post under the last photo, you'll find a link for this PDF. Here's our project with everything that I used and the exact measurements of all of those papers, okay? Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.